Welcome back to Night Fever episode 36. Today's episode, it's a match preview to Saturday evening's game at home, Go Media Stadium against Sydney FC. It's a 5 p.m. kickoff, back to normal times with the match this time. Last weekend, we had a quarter to midnight kickoff New Zealand time, so back to a bit of normality this weekend, and hopefully back to a better result. So we came off the back of a 2-1 defeat to Perth Glory last time out. We're going to take a deep look at what the Sky Blues bring to Auckland, analysing form, history, tactics, key players, unavailable faces, lineups, and a prediction of the showdown. So let's get into it. The Black Knights sit in a crucial moment, dreaming of getting back to the top of that A-League table, coming off a tight defeat to Perth Glory last time round in our 15th match of the season, well over halfway now of the regular season. Sydney FC, the fixture against them was postponed. We were supposed to play them at their place, well, Leichhardt Oval, back in December, but that got postponed due to pitch issues. The rescheduling of that comes after this weekend's match against Sydney. So back-to-back games against Sydney coming up. It's the first time that the teams will go head-to-head this season. Looking back at the head-to-heads between the two clubs, Auckland have never lost to Sydney in competitive games. We have a win and 2 draws from 3 meetings. Sydney hasn't beat Auckland yet in the club's short rivalry, and the average goals per fixture sit at around 2.33. Both sides finding the net often over their meetings. The first meeting between the two teams was back in October 2024, Auckland at home winning 1-0. Then they played in Sydney in April 2025, a 2-2 draw. The third match between the two teams was in the pre-season Australia Cup, a tie that went to penalties and Auckland advanced. So the history gives the Black Knights confidence and shows Sydney have struggled to get the upper hand. Recent form, Auckland come into this match from mixed results. We've only won 1 all year, so very below average for us. And the tide has changed. Only 1.5 goals average per match. Sydney FC's form also shows inconsistency. 2 wins only from their last 6. So that's how Auckland stayed top of the league, just because the teams around them were not taking advantage. The opposition, Sydney FC strength. So although the Sky Blues, they haven't hit top gear this season, they still possess strengths and experience in big games and a depth in midfield. They've had new signings before the season started to add quality across the pitch. A tendency for open games and goals, especially at home historically, which could translate into attacking intent here. Let's take a look at some notable players for Sydney FC. Goalkeeper Hoofsloot, a young Australian keeper with agility between the posts. Ryland Grant, defender, veteran lead in the backline, brings experience and transitional play. Alex Grant, another defender, strong aerial presence and an organizer at the back. Campuzano up front, the Spanish striker, brought in to bolster their goal-scoring options. And let's not forget Joe Lolly. I believe he was back in their last match, but he was originally injured for the first meeting that we were supposed to have back in December. And he will be one of the greatest dangers of Sydney FC in this fixture. Looking at unavailable players, I couldn't see anything just before this match, but things can change up to last minute. So keep an eye on the club website or the A-League website for any last minute changes to that. The likely lineups for the home team. Well, we did see Ollie Sale get his first match for Auckland last weekend, but he had a slip and fell injured, and it looks like he might need surgery. Michael Vow will come back in between the posts. Yeah, very mixed opinions about that one. Hiroki Sakai, he was back from injury last weekend. Although he picked up something during the game, he continued on. But his calm and experience is a rock for Auckland FC. Nando Peinecker and Hall in the centre of defence, aerial threats. Francis de Vries, solid out at left back. In midfield, probably Louis Verstraete and Gallegos again, just building on that cohesion. Out on the right, I'd like to see Rogerson get on the right. He runs the wing very good and opens up play. Randall on the left, he's somewhat in form at the moment, and news of him leaving the club at the end of the season. He'll want to go out with a bang and make sure he takes strong momentum going into the Scottish Premiership with Dundee United. That gives us Lockie Brook in attacking midfield just behind Big Sam. Sydney FC could go with a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3 formation. Gus Hoofsloot in goal. Not sure if I said his name correct. In defence, Ryan Grant, experienced overlapping runs, and Alex Grant. Are they brothers? Not too sure. Stability and Joel King with pace. Zach de Jesus on fullback duties. In midfield, Paul Ocon, Engster, a creative hub. Corey Holman, the engine in midfield. And in forwards, Campuzano, centre forward. Piero Quispe attacking also. Not too sure if Lolly will be selected for this. Couldn't find enough information prior to recording this podcast. Tactical matchups and what to look out for. In midfield, the control. Verstraete versus Ocon Engstler. The Black Knights will need to maintain possession and win the midfield push to suppress Sydney's attacking creativity. Wide play, Auckland's fullbacks versus Sydney's wingers. If Auckland neutralise Torre and Quispe on the wings, again, not too sure about the pronunciation, they'll cut supply lines to Campuzano. Set pieces, Sydney's aerial presence versus Auckland's defenders. Can Auckland defend those long balls and crosses effectively? A match prediction of how this one might go. So given the recent trends, Auckland's head-to-head edge, home comfort for the Black Knights, I am backing Auckland for a win to get back to winning ways. I'm going to go for Auckland FC 2, Sydney FC 1. Goals perhaps from Brook and Randall, with Campuzano replying. So that is your dive into episode 36 of Night Fever. We've covered some form, history, strengths, lineups, tactical battles, and a prediction, all geared for an amazing Black Knights faithful. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, if you've enjoyed this preview, hit subscribe and like. I'll be back after the match with a match review, so make sure you don't miss that one. My name's Jenkins, and until next time, up the port, up the Black Knights. Goodbye for now.